Hello, everybody. How many of us have ever been so excited for something and it never happens? Or how many people you know who are looking and looking and looking so hard for whatever it is, and they finally come across a hint of their desire? Oh my gosh, it's here, they got it, and then they settle. It goes nowhere. There's an overcompensation there. Someone looking for a relationship aggressively will date anybody and everybody and allow themselves to talk themselves into bad ideas little by little, settling for every tick along the way that just, usually throws them off because they want a relationship so bad. We all have that friend who's been looking for relationships. They find someone, it's a bad idea, it's not a good look, but they have themselves so convinced that this is the right move, this is the person they want, and you could just see straight down the barrel, this shit ain't gonna work out, right? Let's switch it up a little bit. When I first started training, this is back in the MMA days, I wanted fights so bad. It's almost like my trainer could just sense how bad I wanted to get in the cage and never really allowed me to do it. He would hand it to the other fighters around my weight. And I was so focused, surprisingly, in trying to make it to fights and trying to get in the cage and trying to compete that I surprisingly stressed myself out before I even got to the mats on a daily basis. I would show up, I'd put in the work, I'd try to show off extra, and, I'd just put in that overcompensation, and it never worked out for me. I was never the first one in line. I was never given the first opportunity. And in my head, I wasn't doing enough. I was stressing myself out and I wasn't performing to the best of my ability because I was allowing myself to get so stressed. Same thing for my blue belt. Many of you guys are going to feel me right here. I wanted my blue belt so bad. I was showing up and trying to earn it, training extra hard, trying to show off in front of my trainer at the time. But here's the thing. It was the same thing. I was stressing myself out before I even showed up to class. I was so focused on hitting that one accolade and getting that one promotion that I wasn't 100% focused on the training or the step-by-step process to get there. I wasn't just focused on making the best out of my day. I was focused on how to force these accolades and these achievements. How good do you think you're going to train and perform when you're tired, aggravated, and stressed before you even show up to anything? I mean, this goes for everything: work, relationships, goals, money management, DIY projects at home. How many times you get frustrated, you walk away from the damn project and you never fucking return to fix it? It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You get me here, right? If someone told you had to eat a rhino, the right way to do it would be one bite at a time, slowly and steadily, right? Imagine if you had to eat that rhino and you decide you're going to sit down and eat it all in one sitting. You're never going to make it to the end of the damn thing. You're going to be sick before you get anywhere, and you're never going to want to fucking taste rhino again because you forced it. This is overcompensating. This is being focused and having a goal, which is great, but this is overdoing it. This is burning the candle at both ends, if you will. The point is, you're overcompensating. I didn't find my girlfriend and mother of my children, or soon-to-be children, when I was out trying to settle for anything that came my way or filled that empty void. Guess what? I wasn't forcing it at all. I wasn't out forcing anything. I was out enjoying myself, and by law of attraction, I found someone else enjoying themselves, and we clicked. We gave it a test run, we felt it out, and it just became a commitment. I mean, it's going to the relationship side of things. And now, because it was naturally done, it is much easier to work on that set base that we started off with. Flipping back to more of a physical or more of what I see on a daily basis, because this is my jam. I look around class daily and I see the guys in there that definitely have something to prove. They definitely want it bad. You know who wants it bad. But they're so over critiquing themselves that you go to show them something so basic, like a simple move in jiu-jitsu that they're not doing correctly, and they can't do it. If you've ever done a private lesson, you feel me here. They cannot grab the lapel the right way. They cannot put their foot on the right part. They cannot get the move down. And you're like, dude, it's so simple. But to you, it is. To them, they are overthinking the living shit out of it. They're trying so hardly to do it correctly that they can't come up with the right solution. There's pressure there. And that's them trying to overperform. Forcing shit to work never works. Keep the goals alive and make micro adjustments as you go. But as long as you take one step in the right direction a day at a time, you will find what you're looking for. If you keep showing up, whether it's the gym, and you show up and you get a little bit better every day. I always tell belts underneath me when they ask me, because a lot of people ask me, Acai, I want my blue belt by the end of the year. What do I got to do? Acai, why am I fucking this up? I'm getting ran through. What is going on here? I always tell those people to have one question a day. Find one question a day to either ask professor or an upper belt. And the same goes for outside. Like the same goes for work life, you know. We all have that coworker who shows up to work every day, has those mental breakdowns. Oh, I show up and I put my all into my work. I do this. I like to take pride in my work, and it feels like the harder I push and the more work that I try to do, the less I'm getting done. When in reality, they're probably getting the same amount of workflow done. They're just stressing so much that they're unable to perform. If you get overwhelmed, it's the same thing. You know, we've all been in the weeds. I don't know if there's any servers listening to this, probably. But if any of you guys have been servers before, you know the secret to being a good server is knowing how to handle the weeds, knowing how to handle being overwhelmed. You don't let yourself get stressed out. You're not the fucking idiot that's running around the restaurant trying to cover all four corners at one time, sweating, and then going up to your table as fake as fuck, smiling, and trying to act like everything's under control. People can read that. They see right through that shit. The good server and the good worker is the one who has a pile and can prioritize and just understand it is what it is, and you can only handle so much at a time. The rest is just going to be hours and nickels in the jar to add up. You will find what you're looking for. Just one step in that direction a day is progress. Yes, life is short, but at the same time, life is the longest damn thing that's ever going to happen to you. So, take advantage of your seconds, your minutes. Don't stress, you know? Maybe more time on the mat. Maybe take a breather. Walk away from your project. Walk away from work. Take a day off. You know, decompress, come back, and just don't let the stress or don't let yourself get so worked up that you are overcompensating. You're going way harder than you need to, and you're overlooking the small things in between. Enjoy the ride. Prioritize. Take care of yourself and keep stepping. It's more of a priority to do things right and slowly a few times, and then they are correct and crispy in the long run over and over again, than it is to stress every single day on what you're doing wrong and how to become a super athlete overnight. There's not many entrepreneurs that I have ever spoke to, at least in my experience, that I've gone up to and said, like, what's the secret? Like, how did you get to where you are? I can't think of one person that says, well, you know what? I wanted it so bad, and I just wanted to make money so bad that I just woke up one day and I did it just in one day because I wanted it so bad. No, they will all tell you they had the desire And they worked at it one step at a time on a daily basis until they got there. So, one step at a time, eating the rhino one bite at a time. I'll circle back. I've got a lot of friends that I see in like a borderline panic because they want accolades so bad. I mean, I've got friends who call me trying to do art projects and wondering why everything's falling apart and why the color theory is not flowing. I've got friends who can't do a triangle correctly in jiu-jitsu and they're freaking out because they're not having a high success rate on the mats. I've got friends who need help putting in a ceiling fan, and all this is just not like they're incapable of doing it, but it's just the state of wanting to get it done so bad that they're not taking a deep breath to slow down and figure out how to learn the process correctly. I want to just say it's really important to prioritize and understand that you need to keep the balance there. If you find yourself frantic and elevated blood pressure, then I'm not saying you're completely in the wrong, but I'm saying you are starting to get on the verge of overthinking. And sometimes it just takes not all effort, but a little bit of relaxation, like a flow state. Calm down, homies. You'll get there. If you're consistent, you'll get there. If you keep showing up, you'll get there. If you keep turning the screw, it'll eventually tighten. You know, it's just break things down and achieve smaller steps to achieve your bigger steps. If you want to be a big entrepreneur one day, as I stated earlier, you need to slowly build. So yes, your desire is to be an entrepreneur, financial freedom, own your own business, whatever it may be. The important part is putting your ducks in a row and breaking down the smaller steps to add up to the bigger steps. So if you're having trouble or struggling in something and it's just not clicking, maybe take a deep breath and say, hey, what are the smaller steps involved to getting to this bigger step? And where can I start on the smaller steps? I don't have my first million yet, but you can be damn sure I studied the recipe and I'm $1 closer every day. I don't get up and get all bent out of shape because I don't have it. Where am I going to get it? There's no way I'm going to get that chunk of money in overnight unless I win the fucking lotto. And, you know, that might be a waste of fucking money in itself. It might be actually putting me in the opposite direction. If I was pressing myself and fighting and swinging, that wouldn't work. If I let myself get so worked up that I need this shit tomorrow, I'd probably fall for some get rich money quick scheme and end up only going backwards. And trust me, I've been there and I've done that. Ladies and gentlemen, just take a deep breath. Stay prepared for your opportunities and take them as they come. All the while, keep heading in the direction to catch them. So, to reiterate, keep heading in the direction you want, one step at a time, and stack your preparation. Stay prepared. Because if you're heading in the direction towards your goal, opportunities will come. So as long as you're prepared, you'll get to catch the waves and you'll get pushed ahead and you will get to ride and coast here and there, I promise. Hope this helped. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and I hope to hear you and see you on the next one.
I think the podcast is fucking sick. If you're listening to it and you're like, you know, I don't know if I want to listen to the next episode of this podcast, you're probably a bitch ass. You need to listen to the next episode of this podcast and keep listening to it. Because my friends down here are trying to make shit happen, and we're going to make some shit happen.